that is perfectly okay. With ALW, granted, I was champion for almost 2 months in that company. I had a lot of great defenses against some great talent.
Hey, to be fair, you know what? I'll actually back up for a second. To be fair, Big Man Cam works for XCW. XCW in the past 10 months has had 1, 2, 3, 4, now 5 champions. So my math, if it works out correctly, that's an average of 2 months. I mean, Big Man Cam works in XCW. Is he going to then say that, oh, well, those championship runs that from the likes of Brady Branson, ACT, Miano Diaz, Tommy the Man Merriman, now Eric Mason, that those championship runs, I mean, that they don't mean anything? Is he going to say that those championship runs over there and almost is he going to basically call them paper tigers? Probably not, because he works there, right? Is that a fair statement for you to make?
I feel like it's not a fair statement to make because, like you said, there are a lot of willing and worthy champions out there that have won belts that have quickly lost them. So, Cam, if you are calling me out for losing the ALW World Heavyweight Championship, think about those other people that you work with.
He's not. I don't think he's going to go to them and say, "Well, you lost the title so quickly. You really didn't do much as champion." I mean, some people would say the good guy CJ Black won his championship in rather in controversial fashion. ROEW, is Big Man Cam going to say anything about that? Some would say. Probably not, right? He probably wouldn't say anything about. How about his cohort in BYW, Jason Storm, the DKW champion? I mean, he beat a guy who's his foundation brother, Omen Black, with rather certainly very, very controversial help. And I don't know if Big Man Cam is going to say anything toward that, right? I don't think he's going to say much about that.
Absolutely. And it's one of those situations where if you throw stones at one person, there's a chance it could be thrown at multiple people. So, Cam, I would watch what you say, especially on a platform like Sportswire. But
I got one more follow-up, and I want to say hello to everybody right now on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page and the Pride Wrestling Federation YouTube page. Thank you very much for joining in. He's this larger-than-life figure. He's a TikTok influencer, Big Man Cam. He's a guy that everybody looks at, and he's figuratively and literally as big as Bigfoot. He's probably the biggest person we've ever seen in a backyard and underground wrestling. He's even a guy that's had a pro wrestling match. So there's no question that Big Man Cam is, well, Big Man Cam. But if I were to tell you that really underneath it all, that he's this softy, that really on the outside may be this taller, larger than life figure, but really he's a lot more sensitive than maybe people would realize. Do you think that really, if you strip it all down and take away that size and all that thing that Mr. Cam has, that he really ain't so big, and you could certainly cut him down in size maybe by, I don't know, half?
Absolutely. Big Man Cam. I'll tell you a quick story about Big Man Cam.
Tell me all the things you want. We're live.
The first ever show that I was a part of for ALW, it was ALW versus Blizzard. I showed up to the arena early to get ready. I met up with Trey, met Holden, talked through our match, and who shows up late? It's Big Man Cam. And this man hops out of his truck, and the first time I ever met him, face to face, he goes on and he yells about how he lost a custody battle that for a kid he didn't have at the time. And to us going in for the first time, we were very taken back by that. Not of the, we're playing around, but of the childness nature that he showed when it's supposed to be a professional.
But what do you mean by that? Elaborate to the audience. What do you mean by childless, and what do you know that the audience doesn't know on Sportswire here?
Cam, he is just, if you could picture all bark, no bite, it is an image of Big Man Cam, much like you see on the screen here, showing Retribution. By the way, tomorrow, Big Man Cam, I hope you're ready to stare up at the lights. But Big Man Cam, at the end of the day, he is a good guy. I will give him that credit. Big Man Cam deserves to go to ROEW. He deserves to wrestle in Michigan. He deserves to wrestle in Indiana. He deserves, I guess, to go all over the world.
I've even heard places that, again, might be some of the biggest in the entire wrestling sphere, I've even heard.
Exactly. And we backstage have heard a lot about that.
Mm.
However, at the end of the day, the performer, fantastic, exceptional, one of the best I've ever seen. Personal. Is he really cut out to be a wrestler? Is he really the guy that companies want to push? You see it right now in CBW. He is their world champion. In that picture, he has the CBW championship.
Yeah, I mean, he beat Jacob Collins. I mean, he certainly has pushed Jacob Collins around, but a lot of people in the backyard have pushed Jacob Collins around. I mean,
exactly. And Jacob Collins is a phenomenal wrestler as well. I've seen
absolutely. He held the ROW title for like 15 seconds, less of a run than you had with the ALW title, you know?
And once again, Big Man Cam wants to throw shade at me. What does that mean for Jacob Collins? I know he doesn't get along with Jacob Collins.
Yeah.
But if you throw stones at one person, it's throwing stones at multiple people. It will ricochet. It will bounce off. And Cam, you need to realize this. I know you're watching this right now. I cannot wait to see what you can comment on this.
Oh, he's got some comments. I'm saving some of them because I got a bunch of them still. I didn't even get to all of them. And I want to also make sure if you're on Instagram, first of all, go to ALW Pro Wrestling. This is where you can see information on Retribution. Go out and support everybody. They're going to be out there tomorrow. That's when the show, I think you're going to kick off at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You guys are going to be out all afternoon. Go out and support the guys. You're going to see Big Man Cam and Judas. You got a whole bunch of other matches. I'm going to put them on the screen here very shortly, so make sure you support them. I've got some other links, plus I've got an announcement for a page I just created in about 15 minutes, so hang on tight here. So let's go back and come into some more comments, first of all. Big Man Cam would like to say, because I worked for all those opportunities, and he spelled opportunities wrong, but I'm going to give him a pass. You did a one-off in CBW. That's it. Scared of wrestling more than 3 to 4 people. Gave a chance, ran with it. Here you are today. You still suck. That's what he's got to say. Never treated me right. I've helped you come to a bigger platform. If it wasn't for me, you would not be on here. Life's biggest regret. So he's actually saying right now, live for the audience, that he regrets having you here on Sportswire. What's your reaction on that? Is that more of what you talked about earlier in the show about the politics and being held down? What you're talking about right now still?
Oh, Cameron, because you are no longer Big Man Cam. This is me talking to Cameron right now.
Oh, who's Cameron?
He told everybody in ALW that I was the best talker, that I deserved to be on like all these platforms.
I tell you what, I've had some talkers that are pro wrestlers on this platform, and I literally could have took a nap and would have came back in, and I still would have felt like I wouldn't have missed anything. And this one tonight, I mean, I'm interested. You got my attention. It sounds like from other people here, you got their attention also.
And that's the end goal. Because, of course, I am here to promote this show, Retribution. I am here to tell you that I am going to beat Big Man Cam in the main event of Retribution, and I will stand tall. I am here to tell everybody about Retribution. But when Big Man Cam tells the higher-ups, hey, this is what we need to do. We need to have Judas be on Sportswire. We need Judas to promote this. It's one of those things where it's the best option, but you know it's going to come with those consequences. And Reverend Tom, I'm sure you've seen a lot of consequences happen here live on Sportswire.
Oh, I have seen tons of consequences literally every single day. Truths and consequences, to quote once upon a time Cactus Jack, who was from Truths and Consequences, New Mexico. But let me ask you a follow-up. There is a lot of comments. I want to get to people. Hang on tight for a second. But let's say you do what you do tomorrow and defeat Big Man Cam. You go out and defeat this guy, right? This larger-than-life presence, a TikTok influencer, a man that is the biggest person I've ever seen in the backyard and the underground. Maybe even one of the biggest I've seen in professional wrestling. But if you beat him, do you then maybe give him a one-way ticket to places like Indiana, to Michigan, and then we really won't see Big Man Cam much longer in ALW if what you say you're going to do to him? Is that what you're telling me right now, that really Big Man Cam, that he really can't play in the ALW arena after what you do to him, and he'll be too embarrassed, and he'll have to kind of tuck his big tail kind of, almost back to places like Indiana or Michigan, where he'll have to go basically to the back of the line and, hopefully be a good soldier in BYW, maybe be such a good enough soldier in XCW that maybe next time they can have 9 guys eliminate him in a battle royal. What are you telling me right now?
Big Man Cam and ALW were like this. They are together forever. And I liked how you use when you beat Big Man Cam, because everybody and their brother knows that this is going to happen. Everybody in Marion, Ohio that shows up to Retribution, bell time 430, 449 David Street, they know.
494. Repeat that address again for those out there. Tell us the address, just in case I can get a one-way ticket to Marion. Give me an address.
Absolutely. If you want to watch Judas destroy Big Man Cam and embarrass him in front of his hometown of Marion, Ohio, it's 449 David Street, Marion, Ohio.
449 David Street, Marion, Ohio. So if you are out there right now, if you're in DKW, if you are out there in CBW, if you're out there in ROEW, even XCW, or anywhere else, Mr. Hardcore and Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling, D'Angelo the Flame, he travels everywhere. If you want to see maybe the end of days to Big Man Cam, go to 449 David Street in Marion, Ohio for All Legendary Wrestling's Retribution. There you have it. Well, we're going to put this off the screen. I want to put the poster up here because it actually gives us the address. Voila. Thank you to technology. But that's actually, and bring your own lawn chair. Hopefully the weather's nice. You guys having no rain tomorrow? What's the weather tomorrow for you guys?
Weather tomorrow is looking sunny and a great amount of pain for Cameron.
Beautiful. Oh, Daddy, it looks like Big Man Cam could be certainly getting a lot of pain tomorrow, and he'll literally be dealing with an Angel of Retribution. Speaking of Mr. Hardcore, of course, from the legendary GWC, of course, related to Mr. Copper Dragon and everybody else out there in the good old GBYWN. Hello, Tom and Judas. Very impassioned speech that day. I was very impressed. Love your outfit tonight. You have a default stable mentality. It warms my dead cold heart. And he's such a dead man, and he's actually wrestled a match on YouTube that has, let me repeat this, 26,000 views. 26,000. So he certainly has seen some moments. He's been a part of some moments. He has helped mold the careers of the likes of Fred Yehai and Oswego Jones and Skrilla and Shalance Royal, big names who have been in some cases been in this little company called Major League Wrestling, and guys that have wrestled, the former Impact Wrestling World Champion Rich Swann. So he knows talent when he sees him, and he's certainly very impressed with you tonight. And speaking of other people who are impressed, the guy that might be the biggest darling in the backyard of the underground wrestling circuit, D'Angelo the Flame, says he's very impressed. He's very impressed. And he has a tryout coming up with Impact Wrestling. And he just wrestled today. He just wrestled yesterday. He's going to be wrestling all weekend, next weekend, at this little thing, Summer Bash. I got to ask you this question before I get to more comments. You're in Ohio, and they have this thing upcoming called Summer Bash in Bremen, Ohio. And it's not too far from, I understand, where you guys live and such. And Judas, I'm wondering, why haven't you been invited? Why haven't you been invited for the powers that be? Big Man Cam is friends with all the powers that be. He's friends with all these big shots like Omen Black, the boogeyman of the Midwest, Soldier GP, Darkron, Matthew Forsaken, these guys that have put this event together. And I'm wondering, why haven't you been invited?
That is a great question. I have been asking the same thing for the last, 3 weeks when you had Trey Mysticality on Sportzwire. And Trey Mysticality mentioned that he would love to be at Summer Bash. And for me, I'm sure Summer Bash would love to see a little appearance from the Evil Angel. I'm just putting that out there that I'm only an hour and a half away from Summer Bash. Maybe.
So you could get to Bremen, Ohio rather easily. I mean, you could certainly make yourself at home in that compound that they have there from July 5th to July 7th. So you're saying you're available.
I am available and I am ready. Just know if I am facing anybody, whether that be from Ohio or whether that be from out of state, they are going to have a match. It will be a match you feel the next morning. That's just who Judas is. So I'm making this out to everybody listening right now. Summer Bash, if you want to see the Evil Angel, you know where to call me.
So it sounds like to me that you should have got an invite along with Big Man Cam and certainly Mr. Mysticality who invited himself.
Exactly. Once again, like I said at the beginning of this interview, talent recognizes talent.
Interesting. Well, I have a lot of comments. Let me get to them. There's a lot of them. Let me try to unpack some of them. Big Man Cam says, they mean something because they defend them. So he's talking about his cohorts in Indiana. Craven Rage, who will be at Summer Bash, says, hello, Tom Bryce, the greatest talk show host show of all time. And hello, Mr. Judas. Much respect to you, Judas. I have much respect for you, and I see your talent. And also here, Big Man Cam wants to say, God, the two things I hate most, Judas and Jacob Collins. So
I'm glad to be on that list, Cam. I'm glad it finally took so long for me to be at the top of that list with Jacob Collins.
But you're not Jacob Collins, though, where he runs over Jacob Collins and, he basically steamrolls over him. But you're an evil angel, basically. Not going to happen to you, right?
Exactly. Like I said, it's not a prediction. It's a spoiler of what's going to happen tomorrow night at ALW Retribution. Cam will be looking up at the lights, and when he heads to that back, he will realize that ALW is not for him anymore. This is no longer his company. This is my company that I put on the map and that I will be the face of for, I don't know, the next maybe 20 years or so.
And he can go he can go get the water for Jackson Law. He can maybe, obviously see if CJ Black's got the right glasses to put on for the Good Guy Gossip Show, or if, Jason Storm needs a ride to go to DKW. Big Man Cam can certainly help and, maybe give those guys that extra lift that basically that they would ask him to, is basically their, they see him as a manservant, more or less, what you're saying. Interesting.
Absolutely. That would be, I think, would be after this match at ALW Retribution.
Boy, let's see more comments. Craven Rage says, Judas, if you ever wanted a challenge, if you ever can make it to Wisconsin, in Appleton, Wisconsin, WCE could take you on as the head of the yard of WCE and many others. So you've gotten one invite to one company. Let's see how many other invites you get. Let's see if the guys in Summer Bash are going to now extend an invite to you, because I'll be curious. I'm a little behind on comments. So you got one invite to Wisconsin. I'm not quite sure what the distance is between Ohio and Wisconsin. I would have to obviously defer to a GPS out there, because I'm in New York City, so I don't know quite the distance, but somebody can maybe help me out with that. But Mr. Cam would like to say, I'll give you this, Judas. Your reign meant more to this community, more than Jacob Collins' ROW title run. But Jacob Collins' ROW title run was really like, what was it, 15 minutes?
Yeah, it was a very, very short period of time.
Literally 15 minutes. I mean, I don't, was it any longer than that?
I don't know. That's a simple stopwatch. You gotta
also, I'd like to give a prayer to Craven Rage and his family, if you don't mind. Obviously, he has lost his uncle, and I want to say my thoughts and prayers to you, Craven, and to your family. And very sorry about that. I know it's been a tough week in the wrestling world. Ox McCoy, who's a part of the IMF, lost his father last Sunday, and now we deal with this. Obviously, we want to give our thoughts and prayers to Craven Rage of WCE, their former all-out champion, on the loss of his uncle. So absolutely, definitely want to take a moment, and obviously thoughts and prayers there. Sorry for your loss. Yeah, we definitely agree on that. Zilla sends the same thing. Everybody and their brother. What about their sisters? Speaking of, how's yours? Is he saying something about your sister?
Absolutely, Big Man Cam is saying something about my sister.
And why is that?
Well, Big Man Cam doesn't realize that Big Man Cam cannot take any heat from me. If I'm on that microphone, he knows he cannot go to toe-to-toe with me. When I cut that promo, when Big Man Cam decided to wuss out and not fight me at ALW Unhinged, I mean, I got on the microphone and I said it as it was. And I may have called out a specific group of people in his life that he didn't really appreciate too much. So now he's making it his mission to call out my sister, when at the end of the day, isn't wanting lust towards somebody else a sin when you are in a relationship? Having lust and maybe being willing to commit adultery, as you know, Reverend Tom, that is one of the biggest things that people fight, is lust.
It is a major, listen, it's something that, is obviously something that I wouldn't recommend, actually. So, yeah, I mean, that's, a very, controversial thing, more or less. And I do have some more comments. Let me come back to them. Keep up the good work. Y'all can't wait to see the absolute domination and destruction of Big Man Cam.
See, Ashlyn, you know what's going to happen tomorrow. Hopefully we can see you in the crowd. A good friend of mine, good friend of my sister's, which once again was mentioned by Big Man Cam, And can I just say this before we get to any
You
more
can
comments?
say anything you want. We're live.
Big Man Cam, keep my sister's name out of your mouth. I understand you are upset that I called out little Andrew and Rosa, who Rosa is actually sitting on the couch right next to you right now, watching this great interaction between Reverend Tom and I. But just know, when you're commenting, you're sitting right next to Rosa. And Rosa, I hope you realize what Big Man Cam is saying, actually right next to you, maybe hiding his phone from you over his shoulder. So I just want to point that out.
Oh, wait a minute. So Rosa, you think, is not happy right now with Big Man Cam?
Once again, that's not my place to talk. However, Big Man Cam, he knows what is going on. He knows what I said at ALW Unhinged, and Rosa now knows what I said at ALW Unhinged. So Rosa, mwah, I wish you would realize what I am saying is
But Big Man Cam is saying Ashla knows.
Well, Cam, I hope you can learn how to read, buddy, because that just said destruction of Big Man Cam. She doesn't want Big Man Cam to do anything other than to be demised.
Well, he's claiming that the destruction of Big Man Cam is what I'll bring. He says cheering for your own demise.
Hey, Cam, I wish you could go back and read that comment, buddy.
Which one? Which one are we going to?
Oh, Cam. Once again, making a fool out of himself, bringing out the inner child in him on a live platform.
So he's really not this big, bad TikTok influencer, this big, bad guy that I've heard even guys in Indiana run away from, and Jacob Collins won't be in a ring with again. And really, then this Big Man Cam, it's all an act. It's all a facade. Big Man Cam really isn't this Big Man Cam. He's more like he's got short man syndrome, basically.
Once again, all bark, no bite.
Okay. Well, you know what? I got something for you before I transition. I want to give you something for a change. We'll come back and put up some more links here, and I might have a surprise here in about 20 minutes, so hang on tight for that. But before I do anything, obviously, Judas, I know you certainly haven't gotten maybe the respect that you have deserved at ALW and maybe in the backyard of the underground wrestling community, so I want to present with you for something that might maybe give us a token of appreciation and a token of our support of you. And I'd like to present that on the screen, only if you insist, sir.
Oh, of course, Reverend Tom. I do appreciate it. Once again, greatness recognizes greatness, and I do appreciate it.
I don't know if I'm as great as you, sir, but I'm going to certainly put this up on the screen because I am officially recognizing you as the evil angel of backyard wrestling. You've got my John Hancock. You've got my logo, today's date, and congratulations. You know, I can't obviously make up for the back pay that you lost in ALW, but I can certainly do my best here on today to have actually officially recognized you here as the evil angel of backyard wrestling.
Reverend Tom, that truly, it means a lot to me. Because like we've mentioned before, at the end of the day, the evil angel doesn't really get respect in the backyard wrestling community, especially in ALW. So seeing something like this and being recognized for greatness, it truly, it melts the heart that I may or may not have.
Yes, because I don't really realize, do you as a Judas have a heart or not really? Not really.
Absolutely. I do. However, I use my heart to show the truth to everybody.
I see.
People don't like that. People don't like it when I.
Well, I have said some things on Sportswire over the past month, and I know that there have certainly been people out there that have been angered about that. But I want to say hello to somebody that is actually really greatness. That is Mr. Doc Holliday, who I just saw actually make a cameo on my screen today at TF Cruz Unhinged. There was a whole big fight they had with Mikey Anarchy and Angel Santiago, and Doc Holliday was the smart one. He got out of the ring, but he was also a part of NEW's Underground Riot in the ring yesterday. He advanced in round 2. He'll be there in round 3 coming up next Friday, and he'd like to say hello. And you know, I'll take this off the screen. And Doc, I really hope that we will speak soon because I'm really dying to speak with you on Sportswire. Doc is a legend in the hardcore wrestling scene in the backyard and the underground. So I'm really hoping that, Doc, we will make this happen soon. But speaking of people that want to say hello, now this is the man that is the guy that's hosting Summer Bash. He's the guy out there in Bremen, Ohio. His name is Darkron. Now, you talked about you wanted an invite for Summer Bash. You talked about the fact you're an hour and a half away. You talked about the fact you're available all 3 days. Now, you have a chance because Big Man Cam certainly didn't, put in a good word for you. Obviously, he wouldn't from what you're telling us tonight. But you have a chance to obviously say hello to the man, introduce yourself to the guy that is obviously behind in hosting Summer Bash, Mr. Dark Cronin. What would you like to say to him?
I mean, simply, I can say, once again, Summer Bash, it's an hour and 30 minutes away from my residence right here in Ohio. I would love the opportunity to come on and be a part of Summer Bash. You have seen here today, I'm not afraid to tell the truth. So, working with me, you will never hear a lie come out of my mouth.
That reminds me, yep.
Whoever wrestling or whoever I get a program with or whatever else, I will make sure it is the most entertaining program that you have. As you can see from ALW and Blizzard, with Blizzard, me being champion for the last 6 years, and ALW, me putting my blood, my sweat, my tears, everything.
I use that line all the time, that guys go out here and put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. That's obviously what you've done. I'm sure Mr. Kron can digest some of that. Want to say hello to one of my buddies out there, who's Mr. Chase Wakefield. He's the Bitcoin billionaire, and he says, good evening, guys. Chase was out there right this morning over at Rocky's Pizza in beautiful West Virginia, over at Vinny Mania for Enterprise and Amplified Wrestling. Chase, hope you're doing well. And he's obviously tuned in, and we have him here, and he says, good evening. I'm sure he'll have a few comments, but there's a fan of yours, apparently. You've got a fan that says, I love you, Judas.
I love seeing little disciples out there cheering my name, because
this isn't Rosa, right?
That's definitely not Rosa. I mean, I definitely was. Don't get me wrong. I wish this was Rosa commenting this, because that means she would be able to see the truth in what I'm telling everybody. But Lilia,
have you tried to tell Rosa the truth?
Oh, definitely, many, many times. But him, I think, has put a little barrier in between Rosa and I. So,
why do you think that is? Why would your opinion you think that is?
I mean, I said what I said at ALW Unhinged. I stand by it. I will forever stand by it until I'm proven wrong, which has happened many times. But until it does happen, and it never will happen, I said what I said. And Cam can't digest that. He can't understand in his, little big doofus brain of his that I'm telling the truth. And he can't shake that fact.
Reminds me when I was in law class in college, and I had a professor who was actually a judge, and he would talk about you can't handle the truth. And I was telling this story earlier today to someone when I took law and evidence in college, and that was kind of the thing. But before I actually get to Mr. Darkron and some more comments, I actually have an announcement I'd like to make. So I would hope that people would just bear with us for a second, because I want to put this up on the screen, because officially now on Sportswire Radio, since you've been doing such a good job, I actually don't want to put it out here right now live on Sportswire Radio. We are officially now on TikTok. I actually just made a TikTok before we went on the air, and I haven't put any videos up, but if you are on TikTok, I would hope that you would consider giving me a follow, because I'll probably be putting up a video about this show and probably other clips from other things you saw on Instagram, because I have 1,500 plus followers on Instagram, 22 or 2,300 on Facebook, and YouTube. We're almost at 1,000. So I'm officially on TikTok. It's Sportswire Radio. So I would hope that if you have a chance, start looking at Sportswire Radio on TikTok, and you'll see some videos posted here, probably more off the air. So that's my announcement. So I haven't posted a video because I literally made TikTok like before we went on the air. So I hope that you'll join us and follow us. But let me get to somebody here. I'll be reffing there tomorrow. Is that maybe going to be for your match, you think?
Absolutely. That is our ALW referee, Casey. Casey, thank you for coming out and supporting. Casey, backstage, he knows what's going on. He is actually one of my good buddies that I brought in.
Is this the Casey that Mr. Callity has talked about?
Oh, no. Different.
Oh, good. I was going to say, because I was like,
Yeah, trust me, if we had that Casey in the locker room, Trey would not be able to.
So it sounds like really I should have had you first at Mysticality, because you seem like you're holding court here on Sportswire Radio far maybe better than some would say Mr. Mysticality did.
I mean, Trey, once again, I'll drop another Hiroshima for you. Just for everybody listening live on Sportswire, and you, Reverend Tom, Trey has learned everything that comes from microphone work to talking to even acting from yours truly. And I don't think he can accept the fact that I can talk better than him, that I can walk better than him, that, heck, I can even wrestle better than him. Because how many times has Trey Mysticality beat me? It's a goose egg. And
I was actually about to put that up. I'm glad that you reminded me because I actually, for a few minutes, wanted to put that up for the audience. And we go down memory lane, and you're obviously hear no evil, see no evil, and you fear it, and you obviously are about to go give him a beat down here. And that's
exactly.
kind of what.
Like this match, people don't know the reason Judas is a thing is Trey Mysticality, and I will give him that credit because at the end of the day, that is why I'm in wrestling. We talked about that before the show, Reverend Tom. That, I mean, we used to be best friends, and it was stuff as simple as wrestling in the backyard. And like now that we're older and wiser and trained, it's becoming like our childhood dreams became a reality. And with this match, Trey wanted to get his name out there. And of course, as everybody knows, the best way to get your name out there is with the evil angel Judas. So we had a match. I edited everything for him. I posted promos. I filmed, edited, did everything all by myself to make him look good. And still to this day, I've never got a thank you for this match.
Why do you think that was? Why don't you think he thanked you?
It's back to those egos, Reverend Tom. You can't get away from it. And I'm not that guy that would just say I have to have a thank you. But I had this match. We filmed this match, and I had this edited and posted within 2 days. Which that was 2 very late nights.
Very hard to do because companies come on here, and the editing usually takes like 4 days, 4 or 5 days.
Exactly, and like you see a little Power Director logo. We both have zero money. We just decided, you know what? We're getting names out there, and this was the best way. And the 2 cameras, our commentary, Cody Blackwell, and I mean, at the end of the match, Casey shows up, and that I think that's what got the views instead of Trey Mysticality.
So Trey Mysticality really, I mean, he's kind of a nothing then, you're saying, in all legendary wrestling. And, how do you then feel about the current champion, Holden Holloway? What do you think on him?
Holden's a very interesting character. Holden Holloway, I, of course, have wrestled him twice.
Yes, I'm aware of that. I've watched it.
First time when I beat him for the ALW championship, and then when he beat me for the ALW championship. And Holden, I respect what he does. I respect the fact that he wants to work on promo skills. He wants to work in the backyard. He wants to work on chain wrestling, work on technical, work on strikes. He wants to work on everything to be the best wrestler that he can be. But that's like maybe 4 days out of the week. There are a lot of times where Holden has zero passion for wrestling. And granted, we all go on our spells of where we have zero passion to do anything.
Right.
But with Holloway, it's almost a constant. The board of directors need a promo for him to promote this next show. They don't get it. Therefore, our ALW audience doesn't get it. Or
because he's focused too much in XCW. He seems to be focused there. He seems to be focused again. Another guy that seems to be focused away from all legendary wrestling is what you're telling me.
Exactly. Reverend Tom, you see the truth. You are a great mind, and you know what's going on. It doesn't take a genius to realize what's going on in ALW and other promotions. However, once again,
it doesn't make sense that the board of directors is putting the top guys out and guys that are going to leave and bolt. That would be like if WWE all of a sudden puts the championships on people that are going to leave and go to AEW. AEW would put their world title on or their other championships on people that are going to leave to WWE. It seems like Big Man Cam, Trey Mysticality, Holden Holloway, they're destined to go and leave ALW. And you are the guy that hasn't had any intentions to go anywhere.
Exactly. And this is the best way to put this. They see ALW as the minor leagues. If you are a basketball fan, they see
I am a basketball fan. I've covered college basketball actually before I got into wrestling, covering it. So, yep, I'm full aware of basketball. Sure, go ahead.
They see it as JV or the G League if you're NBA. To me, this is Friday Night Varsity. This ALW is varsity. ALW is the major leagues, and ALW deserves to be the best promotion that it could be.
Hey,
But
we're covering you here right now on Sportswire, but these guys don't seem like they're doing the work. They're not putting the work in to put ALW on the map. It's Judas that's got all these people here commenting, all these people that are excited. I mean, Darkron even said that he'll invite you down next Sunday to Summer Bash. There's an open challenge, and he's sure that he could probably come out here. And he's also a part of this company called DKW. And these guys in DKW, it's him, his brother, and Matthew Forsaken, his son, Combat Joe Stone. And, maybe those guys in DKW, maybe you need to go take over their company. Maybe you guys need to give them a drubbing. Maybe Judas should go there into Bremen, Ohio. Maybe after what you do to Big Man Cam tomorrow, that should be the first shot. And you go basically take Darkron, Matthew Forsaken, and Joe Stone and just take over their promotion. Maybe you could put ALW in a ring where it belongs, and you guys can call it DKW North.
And I appreciate it. I will definitely be looking forward and probably reaching out to you guys.
Oh, I'll take care of that for you. I'll make sure you get in touch with Mr. Kron.
Absolutely. I do appreciate it, Reverend Tom.
I'll do the work that Mr. Big Man Cam didn't do for you.
Exactly. It's really nice to have somebody in charge that is looking out for his
work.
Well,
there have been people that will say that I've actually gone out there and done more for the community. And, obviously somebody would like to say Judas, and then can you do a backflip?
Can I do a backflip?
Can you do a backflip?
I mean, maybe if you go to the show tomorrow, you can see Judas do a backflip.
449 David Street, Marion, Ohio. All Legendary Wrestling. ALW Pro Wrestling. Also, if you can, give a donation. It'll help them in terms of buying a belt back. I have donated already to the cause. Join me in doing that. So please go out there and support. Thank you, Big Man Cam, for following me on TikTok. But Judas, you've said a lot tonight, but apparently there is somebody that has decided that they would like to say a few words to you. They want to give their side of the story. And I know it's your night. I know obviously somebody is trying to rain on your parade, rain on all the things that you were doing in promoting All Legendary Wrestling. So I ask you first before I do anything, would you like for me to bring on this individual?
Tom, Trey when he was doing his interview, he said that he was a betting man and that he would be willing to see who you would bring on. And Reverend Tom, just to make it clear to the audience, we haven't talked about this. We don't know. This is news to me. However, as Trey Mysticality would say, he's a betting man. I'm a smart man. And I know my skill. And I know that you could bring on anybody. And
it's somebody at All Legendary Wrestling. This is not somebody other than that. I can assure you, this is somebody you know very well. This is somebody you face. This is obvious. This is not a true gotcha. I think when you see who the person is, you'll certainly, be able to have an idea, and you'll know who they are. I definitely can promise you that you'll definitely have seen them quite a few times.
Absolutely. You know what, Tom? Let's bring them on. Let's see what.
Are you sure? Is your final answer? Because I did try out for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire a few years ago. You want to be sure? Well, I'm going to do it. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are now having a surprise, which I don't even know who this person is, by the way. That makes two of us, because I don't even know what's in store right now. I have no idea who's coming on here. But it looks like, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined by the ALW champion of the world himself. Before tomorrow's Retribution, his championship match, it is Holden Holloway, the Hollowed One. Champ, how are you? Nice to meet you tonight. And
I'm doing all right, Tom.
Judas, and what's on your mind, champ?
Not much. Just proud to be on here and trying to get the word about ALW. Put it on the map.
I'm happy to have you here, and I saw you obviously in Indiana this week a couple times. We watched your match with Brogan O'Shea. I saw you in the Extreme King. But what brings you here? This is Judas's night. You're the champion, I understand. But what brings you here in basically introducing or reintroducing yourself to Mr. Judas?
Well, I mean, me and Judas, we have history. And I respect you, Judas. I really do. We tear the house down every time, we face off. I mean, I mean, it's a hell of a match. And I respect you. And what you're going to be doing tomorrow, going against Big Man Cam, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I mean, good luck. I mean, you're going to need it. But you guys are going to kill it. I mean,
well, apparently for you, Mr. Holloway, before I come back to Mr. Judas, it looks like your opponent would like to say something to you right now live and champion for a limited time there. I mean, obviously your opponent's here and they've actually come to confront you. What do you want to say about your opponent tomorrow at 449 David Street?
He doesn't deserve the recognition at all.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't even be in ALW at all. I mean, he's not fit. I mean, I don't respect him at all. There's no reason. I mean, I faced him 2 times already and I beat him. I mean, a third chance. And if I beat him, he's gone from ALW for good. He will never be welcomed back. Never again.
It sounds to me like tomorrow, Big Man Cam might be history and Justin might be history tomorrow, huh?
Big changes for ALW.
Absolutely.
Well, Justin apparently says he's laughing his ass off, and he calls you a joke, Holden Holloway.
Yeah, he's a joke. This guy's a joke.
Why do you think he calls you a joke?
He's jealous of me. I mean, that's what's obvious. I mean, he wants to be me. I mean, I've been ALW champion for 6 months now, 8 months. He wants to be me so badly, and he can't.
Well, he would like to say that he's accepted the stipulation because he knows he's going to beat you.
Yeah, all righty. I beat you already 2 times, man. I mean, in front of your whole family, too. In front of your kids, your wife. What else can I do?
I'm noticing a lot tonight that there's a lot of family mentions. I mean, I heard Rosa come up, and now I heard Justin's family from you, champ. I'm hearing a lot of family mentions tonight. It's getting rather personal here in All Legendary Wrestling. I mean, you guys might be legendary, but you guys might be legendary for personal reasons.
That's what makes us good.
Might make you legendary, don't you think? That's why you're Legendary Wrestling, All Legendary Wrestling, which is why we want people to follow you on Instagram and YouTube. But apparently I got some more comments. People are certainly getting heated. Judas on top. Judas on top. I'm assuming that Judas will be on top of Big Man Cam with the 1, 2, 3. Judas is in the meta right now. Actually, he's S tier. S tier. That's right. S tier. Dude in front of the kids. But Justin would like to say, don't forget the second time was because he paid off the referee.
Oh, hold on. I think you have a little story to tell with that one there, buddy.
You might want to share that for the audience because we're learning here firsthand what happened.
What's wrong about getting an easy W? I mean, what's wrong about that? I mean, that helps me. I mean,
is bribery legal in wrestling, though?
To me, it is. In the backyard, it is.
It is. So it's legal. So,
but if it happened to me, I mean, I would be so aware of the situation that I'd still win.
But Justin wants you to share it for the audience.
Share? There ain't nothing to share about. I just said. I mean, he wants to be me. I mean, there's nothing left to tell. I mean, I paid off the referee so it could be quick and easy for myself.
Was it because you thought you couldn't win?
There's no time. I mean, I beat him clean the first time, and then he got a 3 count. He got a 3 count on our second encounter, and he kicked out right after 3. I mean, he lost clean right there the second time too. I mean, yeah, I did pay off the ref. I mean, it could have been a fast count, but
Interesting admission to admit bribery live on the air.
That's why I'm the champ.
That may be so. He calls you a joke, though.
Yeah. We'll see tomorrow. You're going to be beaten bloody up right in front of your family, man. I mean, right in front of your kids, too. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
Let me ask you a question. I want to say hello to James Taylor, of course. James Taylor is the owner of ROEW, and he's Big Man Cam's employer, by the way. Interesting Gentlemen, it's interesting because, actually, I'm going to change course for a second because it's interesting, gentlemen, because, Holden, I've obviously seen you in XCW, so I've kind of been a little bit familiar of you recently. Obviously, I've known what you've done in ALW. You were mentioning Trey Mysticality's spot, but since you guys are colleagues of Big Man Cam, and that's his boss right now, James Taylor, I mean, do you gentlemen, maybe you guys want opportunity to work in ROEW? Because after all, Big Man Cam is there, and he seems to be going down there to Michigan, and I'm curious if he's invited you guys to go there. But since the owner of ROEW is here, James Taylor, would you like to be able to make your claim maybe to work in ROEW and maybe cause Big Man Cam some more pain and suffering? After all, I mean, Judas, you're going to run him out of town anyway in Ohio, and obviously he can go carry the water of CJ Black and Jason Storm, and I'm sure for Jason Storm, he might want that, but James Taylor might actually want you guys because he's having his own issues with Big Man Cam, and maybe James Taylor would hire you guys to kind of combat what Big Man Cam and this BYW is doing over there. What would you guys think about maybe potentially putting some feelers out there in ROEW?
Well, I mean, I would like to, spread my wings out a little bit more in the backyard scene. I mean, I've been to, XCW. I mean, I'm full time there now. So
I saw you in Vortex. You wrestled Fletch and Brogan for the tag titles. You're an Extreme King, so you definitely are building a resume for sure.
Yeah, for sure. But I wouldn't mind going to ROEW. I mean, if they want me there, I'll be there.
But Big Man Cam is there, and he hasn't seemed to have asked you guys there. I'm just curious hasn't asked you guys to tag along. You would think that obviously, being colleagues, guys in a locker room talk, and he didn't say to you guys, hey, you want to join me, tag along? Maybe I could, put a feeler out there, and didn't do that.
I mean, like I said before, the locker room talk that you just mentioned, it's going back to what's an adult and what's a child backstage. Big Man Cam, or as I like to call him, Bad Dad Cam, he just doesn't seem to take anything seriously. Cam wants to focus on himself instead of, making ALW the biggest show it could possibly be. Building up Retribution to be the best show possible. Cam doesn't really care. And
he's not even here tonight, Big Man Cam. You would think that Big Man Cam would have responded, would have retorted, would have been here with you guys. Holden, you share a locker room with him in XCW. I think it's even more peculiar. You shared a locker room with Big Man Cam in XCW, and he didn't say, hey, you want to join me in ROEW? You're the champion. You share a locker room. You're a work buddy of his in a couple of places. No mention of ROEW, huh?
Never have been. I think that could be a possibility. I mean, in both locker rooms, his, attitude could be changing. I don't know. And
is he a malcontent, you think, in the locker room of ALW? Is he a malcontent in the XCW locker room? It's a certainly rather interesting locker room there, a big locker room. And maybe that's what it is. And Big Man Cam knows that, that maybe the places are shrinking for him. And he needs to obviously keep whatever fiefdoms he can.
And I think that's why, he's going to, go away from ALW and step into XCW.
CBW, he's the champion there. ROEW, he's a part of this BYW. I've even heard him in other places that have millions of subscribers. And this Summer Bash event. Champ, I was curious because I was talking to Judas, and I don't think you got the invite to Summer Bash. You're the ALW champion. You were just an Extreme King. You just wrestled the XCW Tag Team Champions. I didn't seem to hear anything about you in Summer Bash.
Well, there's been talks. There's been talks of me being in Summer Bash. There have been talks.
But Big Man Cam didn't seem like he put a word in. I just did it for you. I just dropped a Hiroshima for you gentlemen tonight, but Big Man Cam didn't do that for you guys.
Well, could be that Big Man Cam is all on himself. He's all about himself.
That's because he's a TikTok influencer, and he's worried about his TikTok following. He's worried about, obviously, others, what they think of him, and he's not worried about those that have been here, here and helped him be where he is today. Is it fair to say, gentlemen, that you guys are the reason and responsible to where Big Man Cam is going? You seem to be the guys that helped him, and he doesn't seem to be extending his hand to help you guys.
Well, I'm not really worried about that. I mean, I want to work for myself. That's my main thing. I want to do things on my own
Understand.
most of the time. And, I really don't care what Big Man Cam does. Not right now. I mean, I got a lot more important things to worry about.
You got Justin for the title. You have the Retribution tomorrow, which if you want to go, 449 David Street. I think match time is 4:30 tomorrow. I believe 4:30. So 4:30. And the guys are going to be selling some prints, some autographs. Guys are going to be out there. And if you want to have a meet and greet, the guys are going to be here. I know you, obviously, and Holden are not going to be on the same side as Big Man Cam. Big Man, you guys will certainly not be sharing in the meet and greet. So when you guys have meet and greet tomorrow, definitely not going to be in photos with Big Man Cam. It's going to be, he better be as far away from you guys tomorrow at the ALW arena. Is that correct?
I mean, hey, Holden, you can have a seat right next to me, pal. I have no problem.
I like that. I like the sound of that.
But Big Man Cam is not going to be sharing a seat with you guys. In the locker room tomorrow, he's definitely not going to be, obviously, you're changing with you guys. There's going to be none of that.
Hell, tomorrow there might not be no more Big Man Cam in ALW ever again.
I said that earlier in the show tonight. It's funny you said that because I said after what Judas has said he's going to do tonight, that Big Man Cam might be permanently a fixture in XCW and CBW and ROEW. We may never see him again in ALW. It may just be the end of Big Man Cam, and he can just go on TikTok and maybe he can share the links to ALW shows.
Yeah. I mean, hey, at the end of the day, Big Man Cam, like you said, he won't be changing with us. He doesn't change with us anyway because man basically has his own locker room because he thinks.
Well, wait. Are you meaning to tell me that he's not a team player and he doesn't dress with all of you guys? That he dresses to himself? I mean, that's what does he get? What kind of treatment does he get there in the ALW locker room?
Team player. I love the fact that you use the word team player. Big Man Cam in team player is basically a 5th grade basketball player that keeps ball hogging and thinks that they're Steph Curry.
Oh, I played with somebody like that in Brooklyn, CYO. There was a guy I played with in 6th grade. All he would do is hog the ball. He was such a ball hog.
Now, imagine that in a backstage atmosphere at an ALW when we're trying to put on the biggest show of the year at ALW Retribution.
Yeah, he's not even here tonight. Not a peep. Justin, are you going to get a hypercharge? We'll have to find out, I suppose. Big Man Cam for Big Fart Cam. I don't think I would want to see a Big Fart Cam. I mean,
I like Bad Dad Cam better. Rolls off the tongue.
Dropped a what? Well, we've dropped a lot of those. Ball hoggers. A Big Man Cam is a ball hogger, basically, from what you guys are saying.
That's true.
I have to ask you, Holden. I mean, is Big Man Cam the same in the XCW locker room as he is in the ALW locker room? Is that what you're telling me right now? Because you share a locker room with an XCW.
I don't think so. He's totally different in my opinion. It's just his mood and his attitude. I mean, it's changed.
It's changed since he went there. But you've obviously stayed the same then.
I do believe that. Yes, I've always been the same.
Let me ask you guys a couple of questions here. We're here, obviously, with the guys from All Legendary Wrestling. We have the Blizzard champion, Judas. He will be in action with Big Man Cam. And we are very honored to have the All Legendary Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, the Hollowed One, Holden Holloway, who was just at XCW's Extreme King. He was at Vortex last week where he challenged for those XCW Tag Team Championships against Brogan, O'Shea, and Fletch. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally where all wrestling matters. If you want to follow All Legendary Wrestling, they're at All Legendary Wrestling on YouTube, also Instagram, ALW Pro Wrestling. I have about 15 or 20 minutes with you guys. Let me ask you guys a couple of different questions individually. First, Judas, what does it mean to you to be the Blizzard champion?
Oh, I mean, like we said at the beginning, or like we said a little bit, 3/4 of the way through the show, right before Holden came on, I got into wrestling because of Trey Mysticality. Trey Mysticality, there would be no Judas without Trey Mysticality, hands down. And I will give him that respect. But being Blizzard champion, that shows that, one, I can do it with the best of them. With Trey Mysticality, who's been training. Holden, we've put on bangers together. And now Big Man Cam will know that tomorrow at ALW Retribution. But being Blizzard champion, it shows that, to me personally, that I can do it. Childhood dreams can come true. You just have to put your mind to it. And at the end of the day, if nobody can dethrone a champion, doesn't that make you the best? Doesn't that make you the greatest wrestler out there? And being Blizzard champion for about 1,700 days now and counting, it's breathtaking to me that I can have that opportunity.
I mean, this is an uncharted territory. I mean, you're talking about the runs in wrestling history of Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan. You're talking about runs of Bob Backlund. I mean, there's really rarefied air of champions this long. I mean, Roman Reigns couldn't do it. I mean, there's champions that have failed to be that many years a champion, yet you've done it as the Blizzard champion for going on 5 years. I mean, it's rarefied air. Rarefied. It's rarefied.
And like I said, until there is somebody that's willing and is a worthy competitor, I will remain champion until, God eventually takes me up there into heaven.
Well, let's hope that's not anytime soon. Let's certainly hope that's not anytime. I think you got a good 60, 70 more years as champion, so don't worry about it.
19 years old, I can do whatever I want for, who knows, maybe till the end of time. Maybe I'm here until the end of the world. Who knows?
You never know. I mean, Ted Williams apparently is frozen. I don't know how that's going to work still, but apparently after he died, they froze his body. But different conversation for a different time. Holden, I want to ask you, what does it mean to you to be the ALW champion?
To me, it's a workhorse. It's all about that workhorse mentality. I want to go out there, give a hell of a show. If it involves me bleeding, sweating, I mean, that's what I'm all here for. I mean, this is what this is all about. I'll work my ass off to keep this championship and keep on going. I mean, tomorrow with Justin, it's going to be a bloodbath. It's going to be a bloodbath. I mean, me and him, we're going to tear it down, and I'll come out on top. I'm most certain of it. I'll do anything to win. And this is what that means a lot to me. This championship means a lot to me.
Before I come back to Judas and ask you guys a couple of other thoughts, I want to ask you one follow-up, Holden. And what have you been learning in the experience of being in XCW so far?
Oh, I love being over there in XCW. I've been learning a lot from other people. I mean, I'm new to the scene. I mean, I want to learn a lot. That's why I'm here. I want to learn. I want to be better. I just want to be the best.
Is there anybody in the locker room there that's been helping you most? Like, for example, tomorrow I have Julian Void Jacobs, the new EBW champion. He's here tomorrow night. Is there anybody there that you've maybe been learning from most in that locker room? Because a lot of veterans are there in that locker room.
I'd say Fletch. Fletch. I mean, Cameron's helped me out a little bit, here and there, but that was a while ago. But Halen Wright, couple other, they've been good to me. I mean, I love that locker room.
There's some really good guys at XCW. I mean, obviously, we just had Brogan O'Shea on, the man that you wrestled last week there, and we have Julian tomorrow, and Justin Parsley's been here. Like, I lost count on how many times. Rob Slater. So there's a lot of guys in the XCW locker room that I value. Chris Jones has been here, and he's going to come back here. He's been here a few times. So a lot of guys there at XCW that I'm really, really interested in. We'll have coverage with them at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Julian Void Jacobs, the new EBW champion, was apparently the guy that was behind this whole EBW cam thing. But it will be the bloodiest battle ever. I think both of your battles will be the bloodiest battle. How about that? Let's go with that. Let me come back and ask you guys a few final questions. Judas, I want to go to you. And what is your final words for Big Man Cam?
My final words for Big Man Cam. Tomorrow, it will be your last day ever performing in ALW for Marion, Ohio. Not only is it my mission, but I will, do not doubt me, I will end the aura of Big Man Cam. Big Man Cam, you think that you are the greatest wrestler alive. And granted, you, in the backyard scene, you're one of the most talented people I've seen. But it's about time that ALW finally sees who is truly the greatest wrestler. And Cam, ALW asked me to apologize. The board of directors asked me to apologize for what was said. So, Cam, I will leave you with this. I am sorry. I am sorry, not to you, but to your family. You are a huge disappointment, Cam.
Oh.
Never in my life have I seen somebody leave their family on Father's Day and leave them all by themselves. Big man Cam, you left your family on Father's Day. You know what I did? I'm 19 years old. I don't have a son. I don't have a daughter. I don't have a kid, but I have a family. You know what I did? I was with you. Cam, where were you? You were out of state, wrestling, pretending to be somebody that you're not. Cam, I hope that tomorrow you can realize that what you are doing is wrong. And I hope that Rosa can realize that. And just remember, if little 5-month-old Andrew needs anything, if he needs any advice, don't tell him to go to Bad Dad Cam.
Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen, he promised Hiroshimas. Judas might have dropped the most nastiest Hiroshima in Sportswire radio history. Everybody was talking about what Jack Delta said yesterday. Everybody was talking about what Chase Wakefield said last week. And everybody talks about what Anthony Steele said. Everybody talks about what I said or Omen Black said. But you know what? Forget about all of them. Jake Dvorak, what he said a few days ago. We ain't seen nothing like what Judas just said. He quoted families' names. He talked about Father's Day. I don't know. There's no turning back from this one. The only thing we can do is go to the All Legendary Wrestling's YouTube page, Instagram page, follow Judas, because it looks to me like Big Man Cam is going to be seeing retribution for everything, or maybe everything he hasn't done. Champ, I want to give you the floor and ask you, because I know Justin's got a couple of comments. I want to give you the opportunity. Do you have any final words for Justin?
You know, I just want to shut these theories up once and for all about Justin. I'm here to talk about the facts, and the facts only. This fact is, I'm tired of everyone thinking Justin has a chance against me. That is complete BS. That's not true. I mean, he has no chance. And it's just so crazy to me that people actually believe in this guy. I mean, he's not qualified to be here in ALW. I mean, ALW management just brought him along one day and just said, oh, here you go. I mean,
new wrestler.
Yeah, it's pathetic, sloppiest thing I've seen out of ALW management in a while, and I don't think Justin belongs here. I don't respect him. I don't respect his family. I don't respect his kids. I want to see them gone. I never want to see them in the ALW backyard ever again. I mean, they're all just fat pigs, and I don't like them. I don't like them. I don't want to see them ever again. I hate them. I honestly do. I don't like them. They bring such a bad name for ALW. I don't like them.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, these things, I mean, the bad blood, the only thing we can do is go to 449 David Street tomorrow in Marion, Ohio, 4:30 p.m. Get the lawn chair ready. Get the popcorn. If there isn't any beverages available, bring one. If there's snacks and drinks sold there at 449 David, make sure you go at 4 o'clock to buy those drinks. Get there at 2:30 even, because you are going to see a spectacle. You are going to see certainly things that you want to talk about bad blood. You know, Taylor Swift might sing Bad Blood, but the bad blood that we're going to see here coming up at the ALW Arena, I don't think you've seen anything like it. Listen, everybody saw what Paul Heyman went through with the Bloodline yesterday, not too far from my neck of the woods in Madison Square Garden. Wait to see what Holden Holloway and Judas have in store for their opponents, Justin and Big Man Cam. This is why they're a part of All Wrestling Matters. This is why they're here in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage. And notice, Big Man Cam is quiet right now over the past hour. Trade Mysticality, couldn't even find him on a milk carton. Justin's here in the comment section. It certainly could be dark days for the likes of Trade Mysticality, the likes of Justin, and certainly Big Man Cam. Big Man Cam could certainly be competing with James Taylor for TikTok references or TikTok memes permanently, because it seems like the doors of the ALW Arena could very well be closed and very well could be no longer needed for the services of Big Man Cam. Let me get to some more comments because there's a few of them before we go. The only thing Holden has said correctly in this is he's absolutely right. We're going to put on one hell of a show. It's going to be an absolute banger, but it's going to be my hand raised in victory. Wise guy says, Judas, he's already dead. Can you be dead before you're dead? I'd be curious if somebody could help me out understanding that. Did you think I'm going to let you run your mouth? I know where you are. Well, he's going to be at 449 David Street tomorrow. I mean, isn't that going to be where you're going to be? 449 David? I mean, that's pretty much what I would think. I mean, I don't know.
What does he mean by that?
Well, you're going to be at 449 David, right?
I mean, yeah, but right now I'm at home. I mean, right now I'm at home.
Well, what do we got? About 15 or 16 hours away till match time? I mean, I'm sure you can figure, because the ALW fans also want the meet and greet first. So meet and greet, I believe, is about an hour early or so. So get there early, though. Get that lawn chair. There might be some beverages sold on site at the arena. If not, BYOB. But if so, make sure you go out there. And by the way, give a donation.
You think I was going to let you talk about my family?
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What's this scene? This is just unbelievable. Justin has come in, and he is going to town. The champion is down. The champion is not. Ladies and gentlemen, certainly.
This is your champion. This is your champion.
Somebody call the police. Somebody go out there. Holloway is down. He may not even make it to the ALW arena. Somebody get help. We need medical attention. Where is ALW officials? Where are the board of directors? Justice is going to town, and he is going on Holden Holloway. The Hollow window. He is being swapped up. Oh my goodness! Justin
is coming on with me.
Oh my God, ladies and gentlemen, we need to get off the air. We need medical help. We need supervision. Where is the board of directors? Where is management? Will Holden Holloway be able to make it in time? Will he be able to be there at 449 David Street? All Legendary Wrestling. Judas, you better duck for cover. You better go run away. We better get out of time here. Ladies and gentlemen, this was something I did not see coming. Nobody saw it coming. Holden Holloway may not make it. Tomorrow, we may have to declare Justin the champion by forfeit. Judas, I know you obviously dumbfounded here. We have to go. We're out of time here. Everybody, please, one more time, follow All Legendary Wrestling. If you want to go out there and support them, go out there. That's the information. We need seriously some help right now. Medical supervision, board of directors, management. Judas, I'm going to let you go because obviously we don't want to make sure Big Man Cam Olson comes out there. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Lock that door.
No.
What just happened? I don't know.
Stay there right now. Don't go anywhere. I'll stay with you when we're off the air. Obviously, we'll make sure somebody gets help. If there's anybody out there, please, whatever you do, call 911. If you're in the Marion area, make sure, because Holden Holloway right now, the lights are off. We don't know his certainly condition right now. Judas, just hang on tight because Big Man Cam might be angry right now. Because again, Rosa right now is in bed. We know that Rosa's in bed. We know that obviously he's angry and enraged. He has seen what Justin has done. He can certainly be influenced. We want to make sure that everybody goes, I'm going to let you run. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you're out there, just again, please don't try this at home. Please go out there and don't do anything but just call officials, call the board of directors. Holden Holloway may not make it to tomorrow. Judas, let's hope you make it to tomorrow. Hang on tight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We will be here on Sportswire Radio tomorrow with Julian Void Jacobs, and all wrestling matters, but all safety matters here. All safety matters right now for Judas and Holden Holloway. Certainly, he is falling, and he can't get up right now. But